You've been waiting for it, and today is the day. In today's episode, we will interview the Coach Katy and ask her the real questions. Get to know your coach a little bit better in today's episode.
Welcome to the CrossFit Edwardsville Community Podcast, where we hear and learn from our coaches, CrossFitters, and Glen Ed community leaders. Now, here are your hosts, Dallas and Greg.
Guys, in this podcast, we hear from our coaches and CrossFitters, and today we're doing just that. A coach and a CrossFitter, Coach Katy Howard, has been a part of our CrossFit community for a little while now, and you may be interested in knowing, how did she even get here? Like, what was her background with fitness? What drew her into coaching in the first place? What is her coaching philosophy? We'll try and address all of those and more questions in today's episode. So I'd like to begin by welcoming Coach Katy to the podcast. Coach Katy, welcome.
Thank you.
We'll jump right into it. So we're all curious, like, how did you first get involved in CrossFit? Like, what brought you to CrossFit in the first place?
Okay. I have a younger brother. He's 6 years younger than me. He's in the Army, which most of my family is, and he was the start of CrossFit. So he started, this would have been back in 2002, 2003, with Jim Jones. Don't know if that sounds familiar to you.
I haven't heard that name in a while.
Okay. So that was like extreme CrossFit.
Yes.
So he started with that. He was living with me at the time. And so we would go to the gym together, and he was introducing me to all of these things. And he was my coach basically. And we would do some things. And that was my introduction to CrossFit.
That's so interesting. So to the audience, if you're not an OG CrossFitter, you may not know about Jim Jones, but Jim Jones is basically CrossFit under a different name out of Utah. And that organization is the one that actually did the strength and conditioning, the training for the cast of the movie 300. And in fact, in the early days of CrossFit, there was a workout known as the 300 workout, which is 300 reps. If you're an OG CrossFitter, you've probably done this workout. And that was a product of Jim Jones. I believe that there are still some Jim Jones affiliates around and about. I think there was one in St. Louis at least a couple of years ago. I don't know if it's still there, but super interesting that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's now talk about coaching itself. Like, what inspired you to pursue coaching in the first place? This is probably going back to even before your CrossFit world, before CrossFit was a part of the puzzle.
Yeah. I don't know that I ever set out to necessarily be a coach. That just kind of, I guess, happened and evolved over time.
Right.
I really was more of an athlete, and we'll say performer. We could come back to that. And I mean, really, okay, so we'll go back to the very beginning of Katy. Okay.
Right.
If my mom were on the podcast, this would be the first thing she would want everyone to know. This is the story that she has told everybody we've ever met ever to embarrass me.
Oh no.
Here we go. From, the start, I would, when I was little, and we're talking like maybe 5 years old, I would be the first person awake in the house, and I would go and turn the TV on. And this was in the 80s. I would do the aerobics with the people on TV.
Okay.
And I would do that for hours.
So the aerobics with who? Like, I remember
it was like just these instructors on TV standing in a white room, and they would just, they were doing stuff to the music, and this is what I did. And I did that, forever. And then I had my first gym membership when I was 16.
Oh, wow.
And was in there working out, doing all the things.
Right.
I went to college. I was a dance education major. So I was very involved in dance and being, I guess, that type of athlete, but more very like performance based,
Right.
kind of a different, culture, a different look. Um, when I was in college, my one instructor that I had, she highly against my will, encouraged me to go to an audition, to basically become like I would join a dance company and be a professional dancer. And I was like, no, like I'm not cut out for that. And she was like, just go. Like, this is part of like exploring things. So I went, and believe it or not, I got it.
Ha,
Um, so
that's
I
amazing.
I spent some time doing that professionally. So that was a part of my life. It was, it just, I don't think was what I wanted really. But in that, being fit, keeping up an image was a big deal. So I was at the gym a lot. While I was there, I was recruited by someone who worked at the gym. They were like, hey, do you just want to teach classes here? I will give you a free membership. I was like, sure. Started teaching classes, and that literally grew into where I am at now. So it was a change of direction. I never became a high school dance instructor in the arts program. It was just a big change of direction. I then, I got married, I've had kids, and every step of the way, I have just pursued different parts of fitness, and CrossFit was one of those things.
That's so interesting. So
Yeah.
then, if you think back to like where you told us how you steered into or how you found yourself in fitness coaching in the first place, when you think to who have been your inspirations or your mentors or the people that created your coaching philosophy, if you have one, if you have a coaching
Yeah.
philosophy, what is it and where did it come from? Like who are your influences in this?
Okay. So if we're looking at like kind of big influences where I was highly inspired and kind of like aspired to be this person. And honestly, no one's going to be surprised by this, but Jillian Michaels, when she was on The Biggest Loser, I just loved I love the image that was created for her. She was, just kind of young and cool. She would show up and she always had on a great outfit, and she was, loud and kind of aggressive. And I loved everything about it. And that, that is a lot of my personality anyways, which is probably kind of why I liked her. So again, no one finds that surprising. Um, but then like in my life, I have had people who I have worked with, that really kind of helped me, I guess, become better at what I do. I don't think that it would be names of anybody that but definitely people I've worked with, over the years who were really good at they were really good at connecting with people and taking taking something that could be so hard and intimidating, like fitness, and made people like just fall in love with it. Like that's a skill that you have to learn. And I was lucky that I had people along the way that I could see doing that and
Sure,
then learn from.
sure.
Yeah.
It starts to steer us into coaching values and like what qualities you most value as a coach. And it sounds like one of them is the ability to take this big, complex, often scary thing of going to a gym and how do I get strong? How do I have a healthy body? How do I perform at my best? And it's this big, scary, complicated thing for a lot of people. especially if you've not been a part of gym culture, or if you weren't part of sports growing up, or maybe like you were, but you stepped away from it for a while. This is something that's been really important to me too, is making the gym where people feel welcome to go and they feel like they can go there, they can be their authentic selves, have fun, actually enjoy the process. And we as coaches can take these complex things and make them manageable, digestible, so that everyday people that don't do fitness, don't think about fitness in their jobs, can totally get it and connect with it and feel that sense of personal victory. And like, we did that. That was so cool. I didn't think I could ever climb a rope. That's so awesome. So many people, their jobs are doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. And they don't get to experience that joy of self-discovery like they did when they were younger. Like, dude, I never knew that I could lift that much. I never knew that I could climb a rope. Like, that's like, I haven't tried jumping rope since I was a kid. How cool is it that I could? So it sounds like that's one of the values for you. You think about other, like, the dream version of Katy. What are the coaching qualities that she has more than anything else? You think, like, if people, let's say Katy dies tomorrow, and at her funeral they're like, these are 5 qualities that Coach Katy had and she was awesome. What would you want to be remembered for as a coach? Like 5 top qualities that you really value.
So the things probably I guess I would want to be remembered for is that I actually was able to help somebody not even get stronger or lose weight, but just build confidence in themselves to do something else. The things that like are much scarier than what we face in the gym, like applying for a job or moving, ending a bad relationship, like those types of things where that confidence came from something that I helped them overcome in the gym first.
Sure. So one of these for you would be helping people to find that inner confidence, develop in a gym setting, develop the courage to go out and do bold, brave things in everyday life.
Yes.
Cool. So that's one. What's another
one? Probably, I don't know that I want to be remembered for this, but I know that this would be brought up, I guess, at my funeral, is that I have a lot of energy.
Sure.
On Sunday when we were at Fallapalooza, there's all kinds of things going on there. It was a very big event. And we had, basketball happening on one side and like a ring toss game on the other side. And the volunteers of those booths would look over and be like, you need to tone it down. That's way too much energy you have. And I hear that all the time.
Being very high energy.
I am energetic. Yeah.
It's a good quality for a coach, for sure, to lead people with the energy.
Yeah.
That's one. We talked about 2 of them so far. Yes. What's another key coaching quality or value that you have?
I, without trying this, it just comes naturally to me. I am really passionate about what I do. Like, I literally love fitness and I love to work out. I don't have to fake it. I don't have to force myself to do it. And I think that, and there have been people who have, shared with me that they can see that in me, that like this really, if, I'm leading a class and doing things that they can see like, wow, this is actually what makes Katy happy. Like, this is your place.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is who I am. Like, I just have undying passion for fitness.
Well, it's a sign that this is your true calling in life, when it's just who you are, it's just what you do, and it naturally flows out of you. That my My gift is to have this excitement, this passion, and get you excited and passionate about it. But then also demystify it where you can connect with it wherever you are, whatever fitness level you have. I can help you to embrace this on your terms, kick butt, take names, be awesome, feel great, and go back to being the more courageous, more fit, more strong, energized version of yourself, whatever that is in life. So we're going a little long on the podcast for this episode, Katy. Let's just close out with this. You're talking to somebody who maybe is a little bit new to fitness.
Okay.
And they're overwhelmed. They've got a million things going on between the spouse, the kids, the jobs, taking kids to all the sporting events. It's so stressful. Let's even put it in the context of like you're speaking to our community women, the community moms that they spend their whole day pouring into others, helping other people. And I feel like I haven't done anything for me. If you're talking to that person, what are 3 super practical, super tangible things that they could do in order to move their health in a positive direction? Something simple they could do for themselves. Maybe it involves a gym. Maybe it involves healthy eating. Maybe it's a habits thing. Maybe it's a mindset thing. Like if you're talking to that overwhelmed, super stressed Glen Ed mom that is trying to fit a sliver of something for her into all of this chaos, what are some practical things that you would give to that person or tell them?
Okay, so the first thing is we are going to think progress over perfection. So looking at a busy day, gym membership, no gym membership, doesn't matter. You are going to do something. So what I mean by progress over perfection is we get tied into thinking my workout has to look like this. It has to be an hour. I have to do cardio. I have to do weights. Stop overthinking it. 15 minutes of anything is better than nothing.
Yes.
So more than nothing is what we start with.
Got it.
Progress over perfection. Doesn't have to be a perfect workout. You don't have to be good at it. You don't have to look good doing it. You're just going to do something. It needs to be more than nothing.
And something is better than nothing. Always.
Yeah. Right. The second thing is we're going to think about adding before taking away. And this is in regard to what we're eating. We focus a lot on like what we're going to take out of our diet. And we are far more successful if we think about adding to our diet. So like something that you could do today would be you're just going to eat fruit. You're going to eat vegetable. Maybe you already eat some. Okay, eat another one. Honestly, most people hardly eat fruits and vegetables. So we're just going to add that in without changing anything else. Just add in some fruits and vegetables. And we're not going to think about like, oh, well, potato is starch, so I can't have that. And a pineapple is high in sugar. Nope. Any fruit and vegetable, fresh, frozen, from a can, not ideal, but we'll take it.
Right.
Just eat it. Add it to what you're doing without changing anything else.
I love that. And I want to second the motion that whenever I start working with somebody on the healthy eating side of things, and if we look at the standard person's food journal upon arrival, most people's default setting is a lot of just processed carbohydrate out the wazoo, not a hint of a vegetable anywhere in sight, maybe some fruit. But what I like with this is you're adding in quality nutrition. This is real nourishment. There's actual vitamins and nutrients to this. And what's cool is as you add in things that are whole foods, real foods, have real value, it also then ends up in probably inevitably kind of pushing the processed stuff out of the picture, because then you find that, oh, I actually like this better than the processed stuff. So that's cool. All right. So do you have another one, or do you want to say that's those 2 are good for now? If there's a third one, what would it be?
Third one, I think would be that we have to get over this idea that we get to a certain age and life changes. No, life is always changing regardless of our age. And just because you are of a certain age, and this would apply to men, not just women, you're over 40, you can still do all the things. Even if you've never worked out before, you can still do all the things. We don't have to not do things or stop doing things or accept a kind of sucky way of living just because we're over 40. That's all complete BS.
So then the message is, being over 40 doesn't mean life is over, that your health is over. It doesn't have to be this slow, unstoppable deterioration into decrepitude and the convalescent home, that it is so possible to effectively right here, right now, today, be reborn and step into being an energetic, vibrant, loves life kind of version of yourself.
Yeah, 100%, and just because you can't do something, we don't say, oh, I can't do that. I'm 45 now. You could do it. Don't be a baby.
Well, if you need help too, come and visit us here at CFE so Coach Katy can help to guide you along. Katy, we've gone a little bit long here. I just want to say thank you too for the gift of your time and your attention, for sharing your insights. Guys, if you have other questions that you would like to share with Coach Katy for her next visit with us in the podcast, leave it in the comments section down below. We'd love to hear from you guys. For now, we're signing off, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Thanks for listening to my dad's podcast. For more useful tools and guidance, go to CrossFitEdwardsville.com and feel free to like, share, subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comment sections down below. See you in the next episode.